Barnes.
How frustrating was it just to kind of lay an egg like that in the first half?
Well, that's the most disappointing thing is our ink are just so inconsistent, and you think you're getting there, and then you take a couple steps forward, you took a step backwards, and again, but I do not in any way want to take anything away from Michigan State. Coach Chan's had his guys ready to play, and early in the first half, we just had some shots. Again, had good looks at it, didn't make it. Then I thought we started taking some shots quick where our feet weren't set, just again, kind of hope shots is what I call them. Second half, we really fought hard to get back in, and we all appreciate that effort. And but a big turnover at the end, a couple of them really, and then offensive rebound on the other end when we had a chance to really come down and maybe get a lead and put a little bit more pressure on them. Our full court pressure was good, but obviously Zakai and Dalton got it going, and Zakai continues to just do an incredible job with what we need him to do. But overall, we got to have more team consistency. Tolu Smith had his way with our post guys, got his position where he wanted it, and just he did what he wanted to do. And but again, we didn't make enough winning plays at the end, and they deserve all the credit for this win.
Going up against Tolu and struggling, did that surprise you with how Jonas and Tobe had seemed
Absolutely.
to be progressing?
I would have thought that both of those guys, I mean, we know he's certainly an outstanding offensive player, but he just took it where he wanted to go, which, those guys can't allow him to do that. And again, fouls, he put fouls on us, but they did a good job getting to the foul line. But still, with the arm bar in the rules today, nobody should be backed down the way he backed us down. It shouldn't happen. Second half, into the first half, we started having to come off and go down and try to help him and fire down there to help him, and they kicked out, but the kickouts really didn't hurt us that much. It's just that he did a great job in facing the basket. I think he either scored or got fouled almost every time he faced the basket because we just gave up our defensive position.
How much of a concern is that? I mean, probably the four best post players you guys have gone against this year have had pretty good success.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, because we think our guys can do it, and again, we love them to help us score and do that, but we've got to be able to guard other people's post players. We've got to do that, and I know we're more than capable of doing it, but we've got to prove we can do it.
What needs to change for them to do so?
Understanding that you're allowed to arm bar for one, and I think if you're allowed to arm bar, nobody should be able to back you down, and I really believe that. But it's leverage. It's getting down low and holding your ground, and if you do that, we can come and help. We can do that, but when a guy gets it deep in the lane, now it's a long way to come down, and it's a longer way to get back out. Puts us into really a tough rotation where it really becomes a three-man rotation. But again, it's all about space, fighting for your space on the floor, getting the ball where you want it, and he does as good a job as anybody that we play.
Is this game played as physically as you guys expect?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. We expect that, but that's fine. It's not that. I mean, again, we got guys, and we're going to keep shooting the ball. We got to do that. But tonight, defensively is what, really, we fouled a three-point shooter early in the game. Can't do that. We've talked so much about that. And then, second half, they had to out-rebound us 9 in the second half because I think we were up 9 at halftime on the glass, and those plays hurt. But again, we did a great job getting ourselves back in it, where it just became a regular game you would expect, and in terms of how much time and where the score was, but we didn't make enough winning plays coming down the end.
How hard is it to win on the road in SEC when you got what you got from Josiah and Santi tonight?
It's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. And again, I tell you, we expect so much out of those guys, and defensively they do a really good job, but they've been in a lot of big games, and we believe in them with our whole heart, but it's consistency. We got to know what we're going to get, not just from those two guys, but from everybody on our team.
What woke up Dalton a little bit there in the second half?
Well, I think he got some looks, and I think I told you guys weeks ago, the more we play, the more he understands what's going on. He's going to get a feel for it, and I thought he adjusted well. I think that Z helped him do some things too, and but once he got going, we've seen him do that, and I thought he got a little anxious. Like I said, he took one that was not a great look at it. It was a great look, but I didn't think he was set the way he needed to be. And then when you turn down a ball screen like he did, going to his left, and you raise up, you really are setting yourself up for a rear view contest with a guy that's as big as you and that was a big play, that block. But I thought he should have kept going there. But you know, he's going to just keep getting better every game. I do know this. He's trying to make more of an effort to guard consistently longer periods of time. If he'll do that, he can build on this.
Was this first half different than North Carolina in the sense of this being more physical mistakes than the mental mistakes that you didn't like in Chapel Hill?
How many points they scored? How many points in the first half?
6 here.
Yep.
35.
35. They should have had 32 because you can't foul three-point shooters. And that's pretty much where, with the pace that we play, you somewhat expect that game to be right there. And again, we had some great looks to start. Didn't go in, which is, we saw that happen the other night. We bounced back like in the second half. But in the second half, you just can't turn the ball over the way we did. We took a couple ill-advised shots where I know we could have got better. And then on the other end, you can't give up offensive rebounds. I mean, when you're playing from behind, you can only give them one look at it. And again, from a defensive standpoint, we allowed their two best players to have great nights. And it really makes it hard to win on the road when their two best players or two leading scorers can do what they did tonight.
Did Dalton need a game like this against a physical defense to see that he's capable of continuing to do some good things?
Well, I think what has helped him more than anything is Shaq has made a really conscious effort in practice to get after him, and I think that's helped him a lot. But obviously when you come out here when the light's wrong and you can do it, I think it's got to add to your confidence.
What made Hubbard so effective tonight this season?
Well, one, he's a good player, and you know, he can raise up. He's got a nice jump shot, and you know, we were trying to double team him some to get it out of his hands, and he does a really good job. And we did okay with that. But again, guys get going making shots. You got like Dalton, he got going with it. But again, it goes back. You can't let him have the points at the rim like we did tonight. Again, they're going to make some shots, and he's a good enough player, obviously, to do that. But you just can't let them have their way at the rim. With again what Tolo did, he really controlled the whole, set the tone for the whole game.
Why did y'all go to the
Last
full court
one.
press, and what made it so effective?
Well, you know, we pretty much had to. You know, we went up there and we felt like, you know, we got them back on their heels a little bit, and it was good for us. It really was. But then we had a couple of fouls that you cannot have to let them go down and make some free throws that way. But you know, it's just, again, it was effective. It got us back in the game, and but we had a lot of guys that second half that played a lot of minutes. And again, we're proud of that fight. They came back into it, and shows you what we're capable of. But we just, again, dug ourselves a hole. But they had a lot to do with it. They I don't want to say one word here that takes away from what Coach Jans did with his team, and good for them, and great win and for them, and tough one for us.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.